Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Well, hang on. We're trying.
Serious, man. You cannot be serious.
No, we're working with. We've got steam-fired power here. So now, before we start, Doug, are you in Australia?
Yes, back
Good.
back on
Well,
terra
the
firma.
the hibernation or the duck has migrated back to the
He's,
land
he,
of Oz.
he has. I'm back. I tell you what, the weather, it was very windy yesterday in Melbourne. I know you've been enjoying, travelling this great country of ours. And when I say you're seeing the best of our country, not the spot that I'm in. But the weather is like blue skies. It's fresh. But gee, we've had an amazing winter, Melbourne. Other than the farm, we're not. We've spoken a lot about the farmers and the difficulties that they've gone through because there hasn't been a lot of rain at the right times and everything else. But you could not complain about the weather that Melbourne's had this winter. We've had blue skies and a lot of sunny days.
You wait till we get on to the city you're living in. We'll do that later, but there's
Yep.
far more. Well, there's not more important things to discuss, but more topical things to discuss. Duck?
Yes.
We're at Katoomba at the minute, and we've
Katoomba.
been.
So we explain where that is for people.
It's in the Blue Mountains, and it's
Blue
the
Mountains,
home
yep.
of the Three Sisters, which is politically incorrect. It should be the Three People, but it's the Three Sisters. It's a rock formation.
Hang on, how's that? How can that be politically incorrect saying three sisters? How else do you say three sisters?
Well, we are gender neutral. This is a binary world we live in, and
Hang on.
we're
So
not to delineate between male or female or anything
hang on.
else.
So you can't say that you have a sister and a brother. Are you telling me that?
No, we have siblings.
Oh, that's
You
come
wait till the government changes it. That'll be the
come
next
on,
thing.
Sam. Come on, Sam.
You're not a mother. You're not a father. You're a birthing parent, and your wife or your
I'm not
partner, if she breastfeeds, is a chest feeding person, not a breastfeeding, a chest feeding.
Oh, are you serious?
Duck. That's the.
You cannot be serious.
That is exactly the world we're living in. You wait till we get Well, we'll wait till we get onto the AFL. Is it possible? Is it possible for an institution, a sporting institution, to be as inept and as ham-fisted as the AFL? But we'll get onto that. First of all, Duck, the Gold Coast are going to play in their first finals for...
Not yet. Not yet.
No, Duck. No, please.
Not yet.
Now, please, the AFL have thrown millions and millions of dollars into the Gold Coast Suns, and if they lose to Essendon, who are on a losing streak of 12, we will start a petition and close the Gold Coast down.
Well, Port Adelaide. I tipped Port Adelaide last week, by the way, to beat the Gold Coast. Ken Hinkley, Travis Boak's last game for the Port Adelaide foot. What great servants they've been to that club. So they didn't get the ultimate prize, but they were very consistent. They were a relevant club. They were good to watch. They've had great periods. They nearly got into a grand final, nearly beat Richmond in a prelim. Unbelievable. And you're right, Gold Coast just starting to tighten up, Samuel. Don't write the Bombers off.
Duck, I have forgotten more about football than any commentator's ever known about the game. I am telling you, put your house, gamble responsibly, put your house on the Gold Coast getting into their first finals ever. And if they don't, they should go down and board up that pissy little ground that they play out of immediately.
No, you know what? They have had, given any other year, and what you've got to remember this year is any other year, all of those teams. So the Bulldogs are going to miss out, right? If the Suns win. So the Bulldogs go out, the Suns go in.
Yes.
This is a year to have the amount of wins that these clubs have had. Normally, you're knocking on the door for the top four, not just the top 8. So It has been an unbelievable year. The Gold Coast have had a great year. They slipped up last week. They would want to bring their absolute best, because I tell you what Essendon will do, and they're young kids and they're reserve grade players and they're fill-in players, and we know all of that. They've got injuries everywhere, but they will play with a freedom. And
What absolute bullshit, Duck.
they
Please.
will play
Now,
with a freedom.
You're just mouthing platitudes to save some so you don't annoy people. That you don't believe that at all.
I'm not trying to annoy people. I just know.
No, you're
that
not trying
a
to
club
annoy
that is-
people. You're
that a
trying
club
to
that has
not annoy people.
never played finals in the history of their club, and you can't tell me they will go in with a little. They will be as nervous as all you know what. And
Nervous as a white mouse in a tampon factory.
yeah, and you've got these, and you've got a team that knows that if they just you only need 3 or 4 players, Sam, to be a bit edgy.
They haven't
And-
got 3 or 4. Oh, you mean the Suns?
Correct.
Yeah. So they went through the ruse of the coach pretending he was out of football and he needed to spend more time with his family, and suddenly he's the coach of the Gold Coast Suns, the great whatever his name
Damien
is,
Hardwick.
Damien Hardwick. And so they've got everything cherry ripe. They are, and there is no. I am telling you, Duck, there is no way the Bombers, on a losing streak of a dozen, will go up. I don't care how motivated it is. That is just fairy tale stuff.
I did like Dimmer Hardwick's comment last week, Sam, when I think one of the journalists after the game spoke about motivation and were they up and did they realise the importance of last week against Port Adelaide? And he said, if I have to motivate a team that has never played finals before, and if they win, they play. If I have to say anything motivational to them, then they're in the wrong job.
Yeah, exactly, Duck. He should get an Uber to the ground at about what time's the game start? He should get an Uber to the ground, stay home, get there 10 minutes before the bounce, walk in, not say anything, take his seat in the stand and just watch them.
That is, I totally agree. That's all he has to do. That's all he should have to do this week.
And unfortunately, Duck, it is more likely this game to be won or lost and the finals to be won or lost on disgraceful umpiring. That is the unknown factor, the absolute inanity. Could you tell me why females are umpiring AFL? I watched a game, was it Carlton? Not Carlton, Collingwood and the Crows. The woman couldn't bounce the ball in the centre. She had to throw it up. Why don't the women umpire women's football and the men umpire men's football? What is wrong with that?
I've said this to you before. I don't care whether I don't think it matters. What matters
Well,
is
we sacrifice an integral part of our game because they're not strong enough.
None of them can bounce the ball anyway. All that I'm worried about is correct decision making. That's all I'm worried about. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman to make the correct decision.
It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but let's not sacrifice. The only time you bounce the ball is in the centre for the uncertainty of the rucks, which are the rucks are a disgrace. The uncertainty of the rucks, at least have someone who can bounce the ball.
Now, I don't know how many times on the weekend when we came back from obviously the start of the game, they bounce it, and then each quarter they bounce it. Each time they go back to the centre after a goal, they attempt to bounce it. Sam, I'm sorry. They just got to get rid of the bounce. None of them can do it. It gets called back far too often. Just throw it up. If you want to quicken the game up, don't wait for ruckman. I mean, they wait sometimes for 20 seconds for the ruckman to get there to actually bounce the ball.
You're talking around the ground?
Yes, throw it up. Just throw it up.
They do throw it up around the ground.
I know, but throw it up quicker.
Oh, quicker. I thought you meant throw it up at the start.
Stop waiting for the ruckman to run from 30 metres away, put the hand up and then throw it up.
I couldn't agree with you more, Duck. And why do you have to nominate who's going for a hit at? And why do the umpires have to say, don't stand behind me? What is that?
They get squashed. That's why.
Well, you have a duty of care not to run into them, but don't tell the players you can't stand behind them.
Now, talking about getting squashed. This time last week, when I was in the depth of darkness and you could hardly see me, we spoke about Isaac Rankin and what he would obviously get for his homophobic slur. And Eddie came out and said it's 5 weeks.
Yep.
The AFL landed on 4 weeks. What I do want to say, and it was fascinating, and Andrew Dillon, the CEO of the AFL, whether you think he's doing a good job or not, that's in the eye of the beholder. I will say this, that when Andrew got asked about Snoop Dogg coming to sing, which we spoke about last week, Snoop Dogg, and I have no problem with Snoop Dogg coming, but it is a contradiction of what the AFL stand for, and in a lot of his lyrics and different things in his songs, and what Andrew Dillon said, which I found fascinating, was Snoop Dogg. Listen to these words. Snoop Dogg is no longer the person he was 20 years ago. He's now a grandfather. He's changed. He's made these changes in his life. And he's now, and he said it twice, he's now a grandfather. Gary Ablett Sr. is now a grandfather. He's not the person he was 20 years ago. Put Gary Ablett Sr. as a legend of the AFL. If you go off that theory of what Andrew Dillon said about Snoop Dogg and how he's changed as a person and he's made all of these different things, and he spoke glowingly about him being a doting grandfather. Well, the Gary Ablett Sr. is all of that.
Doug, it is hard to quantify the gravitas, which means the seriousness of how the top sporting organisation in the country is so inept and so hopeless. They are a disgrace. Snoop Dogg, I hope they cancel Snoop Dogg, and I hope that he sues them for every single cent that they've signed, because you can't say that Mr. Rankin, let me start about Mr. Rankin. Could you say that when you call someone a faggot, that you are absolutely pinpointing their sexual proclivity and citing them that they are one of those, that name, whatever it means? It is a fucking disgrace. And the letter, the ham-fisted, grovelling letter that was written by the AFL Council about protecting the game, I've never heard so much fucking bullshit in my life. I'm going to say this again. When is it all right to call someone a cocksucker, a motherfucker, a cocksmack, a pedophile, a terrorist, a bum bandit, a pox-infested wanker, a degenerate, a stupid effing C, or a pansy? Is it all right to call someone any of those things? And does it mean you are literally saying that is what you are? It is a disgrace in this day and age.
The aftermath, what I love listening, because obviously, and you've been through it, and I've been through it many times, and I love the response. So what everyone's done now is Isaac Rankin, he's got his 4 weeks. So he had a written statement, he's apologised, blah, blah, blah. Now what you've got, now everyone's assessing the fact, so he's got on a plane, he's gone overseas, the club's given him a permission to get out of the country, so he's not hassled by every media person sitting at his front door wanting a comment or whatever. So now they've been criticised for allowing him to go overseas. He's going to be back before the game, the game that they play. He'll be back before that game. He's going to do a training block over there. It allows him to go away and think. But what's even this is what just I nearly broke down in laughter when I heard this view from Caroline Wilson.
Oh no! Please don't.
She thought Caro. No, you know, Caro's annoyed me this year with some of the things she's said and some of the things she's made up. But the fact that she thought, and it always happens, if you come out and if he'd come out and started crying in front of the cameras, they would have said, "Oh, look at him, crocodile tears. He's not sorry." They would have cut through him like a tissue, right? Because he's gone away, so they've criticised him for that. And then Caroline Wilson has come out and said he should have apologised to the AFL Women's League because they are predominantly gay. Can you believe it? So apparently Isaac Rankin, because he's made a flippant, albeit wrong comment on the football field, and he said what he said. He's copped his 4 weeks. But for people to think that he should sit up there and give a which would be a fake apology, and it'd be just for the sake of, making everyone feel good. But he should apologise to all the AFL women that are gay. That is ridiculous. He doesn't owe the only person he owes. You know who he owes an apology to? His teammates, his family, and that's it. That is it.
She is such an irrelevancy in this day and age. It is incontrovertible.
Do you agree? But why do we need? Why do we need, as an athlete, you muck up? Why do we need to come out and apologise to the world?
Why
we don't
would
need
someone employ that? It is
apologise to the people that you've affected. The people that they affected was his teammates, because he's a good player and he should be playing in their team. He should apologise to his family because of the heartache it's brought upon them. And you know what? And then work on himself.
I wonder if anyone ever asked her to apologise to the disabled athletes who she said weren't really athletes, but just people go to watch them fall over. I wonder if she was ever asked to apologise to them. She is a complete irrelevancy in this game. She is a nutcase.
Isaac Rankin does not need to apologise to the gay community because he made a comment to, I assume, someone that's not even gay. He does not own an apology to the gay community.
So
that's ridiculous.
So when you try to be all things to all people, the AFL have ended up. It's backfired on them, because here's a woman, a Muslim woman in the awful, a Muslim woman.
No, Sam. I love the AFL women's. It's not the awful. It's a good competition. By the way, some big results in the AFL women's. They're kicking big scores.
Well, I'm sure you know that, because we are almost blackmailed into watching them. They're played in tandem with the AFL, and you turn on and you think, oh, there's the AFL, but it turns out to be the awful, and then you have to watch. Then you have to switch it over. So anyhow,
it's not the awful.
So this is where they hamstring themselves, and they get themselves. This is how it backfires on. There's a Muslim woman who, for the third year, I've written her name down. She will not play in the gay round because Muslims are not into the gay society, and she has decided not to play.
Should she now? Is Caroline going to say to her that she should apologise to the whole gay community?
This is my point, Duck. So if someone said that they're not going to play in the AFL in the gay round, or do they have a gay pride day, or that they withdrew, they would be suspended for not being diverse and DEI inclusive.
Well, there were some rugby league players. There were some rugby league players that did it, Sam, that have done it in recent times, that have stood out of when the rugby have had
the Samoans and the Islanders.
Yes, correct. That stood out because of that, and by the way, and condemned for it.
So, Duck, this is the point. If the AFL could just get away from all the welcome to countries, all the snivelling things that piss people off, like the gay round, the pride round, the fucking any other round, just get on with running the game properly, which they don't. They can't even get the Tasmanian thing up and running. They've fucked that up. I mean, seriously, they've appointed people and coaches and recruiting people. Is that still going ahead? It's extraordinary. How many things can you screw up in the easiest competition in Australia to run? How many?
A lot of posturing going on with the Tasmanian.
So now there's 4 umpires have been charged. 4 people. Four people have been charged with coercing and rorting the Brownlow decision in 2022, which Mr. Cripps won. And Mr. Cripps...
When did that happen? I haven't heard this.
Yes, 4 people have been charged with doctoring the votes or letting out who the votes were. So you might remember Mr. Pell was an umpire, not George. Mr. Pell was an umpire, and he was cited for doing something to do with the Brownlow. But Duck, the the very fact that there's 4 people have been charged with, and Mr. Cripps, would you believe this? This is Mr. Cripps was charged with a shirt front or a head high tackle or a robust tackle when he tackled. Let me tell you,
it was a bump.
Calamati.
It was a bump, and he got off. He got off.
He got off. He got off in the last game, and he went on to win the Brownlow. Why would the match review panel put him up in the first place? Why? And why would he get off? This game is a tricky little dicky game run by. How many people work at the AFL have got any idea what they're doing? None. Who wouldn't do the due diligence on Snoopy Dogg? And what's it matter what he's sung about? And what's it matter if Mr. Rankin calls anyone a fuckwit or a stupid prick? It is extraordinary. And you should have seen the word salad that the AFL Council wrote about the integrity and the ethics of the AFL. It went on and on and on, and you think, fuck, they must sit there holding their dick when they write it. They must get a hard on. They would get so aroused when they write all this shit about what's going on. It is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Well, it has been the whole. I don't know. I'm sure you're across. Obviously, we still don't know the Suns. So if the Suns do win, Sam, we've got the first final next Thursday night. By the way, the Cats who finished second, once again, don't get to play at home. They have to play at the MCG. So
I thought they got a home final.
What?
I thought they got a home final.
Yeah, no, it'll be played at the MCG, not home. So the Cats once again, albeit, look, you're playing on the grand.
I agree with that, incidentally.
The grand final, but they do get the raw end of the stick. The Cats, the fact that they've now built this new stadium. If it was the other way around, they'd be playing in Brisbane, but they're not. They're playing Brisbane so it should be at Cardinia Park. But it's not. It's at the MCG. Why shouldn't it be? They qualify.
Because we want 60 or 70,000 people to come to it. And then everyone whinges about the fact they can't get a ticket. No.
But if it was the other way around and they're playing at the Gabba,
well, they're not.
You're not got 70,000 there either.
But they're not playing at the Gabba.
But this is the. But
Geelong play in Victoria and the Brisbane Lions play in Queensland.
Correct,
so
but Geelong have earned the right. I think Geelong have been given the raw end of the stick. They deserve to have that game played at Cardinia Park. They've earned the right. They've earned that right. They've got to. I know that people.
Well, what happens if the Gold Coast get in? Let's play it at their pissy little ground.
Well, that's what'll happen.
Oh, bullshit.
Yes, that's what happens. Well, where else are they? Well, Sam, it's their home ground. That's where they will play the final. Fremantle will play their final at Optus Stadium, and if it's Collingwood, it's the MCG. If
Western Australia.
The Adelaide Crows are playing it. By the way, the Adelaide Oval only fits 54,000.
Yeah, well, but that's in South Australia.
Oh, okay, so if going off your theory, why don't we say to Adelaide, okay, Adelaide, you finished on top of the ladder, play Collingwood at the MCG.
Because the advantage is with the side that finishes.
So exactly my point. So Geelong should be playing
in Victoria at the MCG.
But yes, it's in Victoria, Sam, but it's not their home ground.
But why would you, if you play in the main stadium in the state that you represent?
All that I'm saying, Sam, you talk about the compromise competition that we play in. The draw is up to it's just warped every year. It's not favourable. We know that. It's not even. It's compromised. Everything's compromised. We have the rules. The rules are compromised. We've got grey everywhere in this great game of ours, and this is just another area where our game is compromised, and it is not fair. And unfortunately for Geelong, they have been they have been on the raw end of the stick because they've been such a consistent team for a long period of time, because they've qualified higher than their opposition when they've gone into finals, and they haven't been able to play on their home ground. It is very, very. If I was Geelong, and I know they won't complain about it, Chris Scott and the Cats will say, well, the MCG, it's still the MCG, okay? And I get that. They're not going to complain about it. But the game should be at Geelong.
Should have. Well,
Yes.
all right. Well, that's. I think if you
Now, in saying that, the last time Brisbane played Geelong, in Geelong, Brisbane beat them convincingly.
yes, and the last time Geelong had a home final, they played the Fremantle Dockers, and they thought, "Wow, we'll walk straight into the grand final." And what happened? They got beaten.
Yes.
Makes no difference where you play.
You're never going to complain about playing on the MCG. And look, you can go back to even the grand final 2 years ago where Collingwood end up playing Brisbane in the grand final. Collingwood are playing a team on their home ground in a grand final. Like, our game is compromised.
So the MCC are investigating 4 fans who shouted out homophobic slurs at the Collingwood players that came off the ground. They're investigating the public now for doing it.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
Actually, is it actually I assume it's ethically wrong to do, but is it a law? Is it a law?
Hate speech?
It is. Yeah. Well,
No, I'm not saying it's hate speech. I'm saying
how they
because none of it is literal. You're not saying that is actually what that person is. In fact, the AFL pride themselves on the fact that no one has ever come out and admitted they're gay. Maybe if someone does admit they're gay, a player, that they won't be on the end of those homophobic slurs because they won't do it because it would be literal.
I just asked Jess if she could please get me a water, and I got a look as if she bought me a espresso shot, and I said, could you get me a water as well? And I got as if
No, we saw you do that, Doug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if you can get your kids in at some stage. That's your.
No, they're at school.
Oh no. Well. Anyhow, we like your kids coming on. So that is the AFL.
No, so 4 people they've been charged.
Yes.
They've been charged with what?
Manipulating, and giving information out about the bloody count. Insider trading, which Matthew, is it Matthew? No, what's his name? Cripps. Patrick. What's his name?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the fans.
They're after him. They're trying to fucking buttonhole him. Yeah, no, that's it. Now, Brandon Smith. Let's see how the NRL handle this. Brandon Smith, you know him. What's happened to him?
Smithy.
Yeah. Smithy has, in one of the weekends off, has got an 8-ball or just a sleeve of Coke, and he's given it to a couple of the teammates, and they've had a bit of a night out. And now he's been charged.
What did you say? They were playing 8-ball?
No,
they were playing pool.
He must have got hold of an 8-ball or some Coke, and he's now been charged.
Was he playing pool or what?
He's now been charged with dealing cocaine to his teammates, and also he probably to the dealer who gave it to him, is a friend of his. He gave him some tips about who's playing and who's not playing, and he's been charged with.
Someone told me about this last night. It's all alleged, obviously, Sam.
Yeah, well, he's denied it, but they've been investigating it, and we'll see how the NRL.
Well, it depends. Where was it? Who? Sam, this is what I tend to do when I read something or hear a story like this. It goes in one ear and out the other. I cut it in half. I divide it by 4, and then I cut it in half again, and then I just forget about it because it's it's either exaggerated through the roof, so that the so-called, I don't know, the pool game that you're talking about, the 8-ball is probably a 1-ball. And
well, notwithstanding that, Duck, he has been charged with having a sniff, of the coke and giving it to his teammates. He's been charged with dealing now, because if you're with some of your teammates, they said, "Oh, can I have a line?" You say, "Yeah." That doesn't mean you're dealing. And also the person that gave it to him, I assume, said, "And how's the football going?" He said, "Oh, I can tell you something, because he's probably got a hooter full for a start, and he's got the mouse running off at the chop." He's probably said, "Oh, yeah," he said, "so-and-so's playing, and so-and was not injured, and he is injured." And he's been charged with giving out the information. And now my point is, let's see how the NRL, Wayne Bennett, of course, has said, "No, he's playing this week. Don't you worry about that." Let's see how the NRL handle it. They'll say, "Oh, now, what's his name? Brandon, you've been a naughty, naughty boy, and we're not going to tolerate it. You only got 8 or 9 more chances to redeem yourself."
Well, that depends. In our game, it depends on how good a player you are.
Hence
you're
Mr. Cripps.
If you're a really good player, Sam, it gets swept under the carpet. If you're not such a good player, you get made a scapegoat.
Hence Mr. Cripps winning the 2022 Brownlow.
No, Paddy Cripps, you're getting confused. Paddy Cripps deserved to win the Brownlows that he's won.
Of course he does. Whether he shirt-fronted or was too strong in his attack on Mr.
That was a line ball decision.
Well, why did he get put up?
Well, because it was a line ball decision.
Callum Archie.
Yeah, no, I remember the incident. At the time, I thought,
of course, he deserved the Brownlow medal. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that if he'd lost the Brownlow because of it, you would be disappointed.
Like Corey McKernan.
Yes, correct.
Well,
and Corey would love us talking about this because, as we know, by the way, the year Corey polled 21 votes, he polled 3s where I should have got the 3s anyway. So he he doesn't like me saying that, but when I had 28 possessions and kicked 6, and he had 15 possessions and kicked 2, and he got the 3 and I got the 2. So
you had probably been strong on your condemnation of some of the decisions, and the umpires decided no.
Corey also lost back then. I think it was the Norwich Rising Star Award.
Norwich,
which is Norwich. Was it Norwich? Is that how you say it? Norwich Rising
what
Star.
Is it?
Anyway, whatever the Rising Star Award was back then, and what it is now, Corey won that as well and got that taken off him for a fairly trivial incident. So he should have had a Rising Star and a Brownlow medal. Anyway, we did give him a Brownlow medal from McDonald's. They had that year they had a special that if you went through and got a Big Mac or whatever, so on the way to training, Anthony Rock went through and got a meal deal. We didn't eat the meal, and we got the Brownlow and presented it to him that week.
She was looking up, is it Norwich? Is it Norwich?
It's not saying it's the Rising Star.
No, Norwich Rising Star. What are Norwich? A bank, are they?
A bank, yeah, or a
lending agency.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Financial institution.
Yes.
Norwich Union.
Now, Duck, you have said, and I know you're not going to recant. You have said that the Crows and the Brisbane will play in the grand final. So I assume you think...
I said that many weeks ago, Sam.
I know. That's why I keep reminding you. So I assume you think the Crows will beat Collingwood on whenever it's played?
It is played. That'll be Thursday week. So tomorrow week.
Thursday. Who are the Crows playing first up?
Collingwood, tomorrow week. Can't you work that out?
No. Who's playing on
week?
Who's playing
Thursday?
this Thursday?
Tomorrow's Thursday, Sam, and you add a week on, and that's next Thursday.
Now, hang on. Yeah, so Essendon are playing the Suns tonight, aren't they?
Yes.
And that's the end of the home and away season.
Yes. So the reason why they're playing tonight is because they're filling in for round 0. You know, that stupid thing that the AFL introduced at the start of the year. So that is the game that they fill in. So they will then, if they win, they go into the finals. But the first 2 finals have been set. The other finals can't be set because we don't know yet who
That's
is
right.
going to be in there. So
Thursday week they're playing.
So Thursday week, which is tomorrow week, Sam.
Which
You with me?
means, yeah, I am now. Yes, I thought they were playing
Yes.
tomorrow.
No,
which
no.
means,
Tomorrow week, Sam,
Yes.
means tomorrow
which
week.
means that the Crows still could lose, but because they get a double chance.
Well, yes, they can. Yes. Now, this is where it's interesting. The Crows have to lose and get through to the grand final for Isaac Rankin to be available for the grand final. So if they don't lose, so if they win, obviously they go straight through to the prelim.
And he's
And
out
then
of
if they win
business.
so he's out of business, correct?
I wonder if they'll throw a game just so he can come back in for the last.
I wouldn't have thought so.
They might think he's been dealt with unfairly.
I tell you what, though, it is not. They are certainly not. It is going to be. They will. It hasn't got a roof, the Adelaide Oval, as you know, but that they will. It erupted the last game when they they beat Collingwood. Collingwood, by the way, they dominated inside 50s, and and in a lot of ways, probably should have won that game given the amount of ball that they had go inside their forward 50.
Which
they
tells you what?
weren't able to do it.
Why?
Why?
Is anyone in this competition accountable for the people they play on or meant to play on? How can people kick the ball out from fullback to one person, then another, then kick it across the ground? Where are the people meant to be playing on them?
Well, the difference between Collingwood, I'm going to make a call here, Sam. If I was Collingwood, I'm going to make a call.
Good.
If I was Collingwood, I would be bringing in Mason Cox.
Yes, and for
I'd bring in Mason Cox for McStay, and I would be saying to Mason Cox, the only thing we need you to do, Mason, we don't care whether you mark it, just don't be outmarked. We want you to bring the ball to ground, and but when I say bring the ball to ground, we don't want it spoiled 20 metres away, 10 metres away to the boundary. We want it to drop within a vicinity. We want to be predictable. But that's all we want you to do is compete. I would bring him back into the team. But wait and watch his face.
And have him pick up someone. Why don't, when the opposition have the ball, don't they? The first thing the other mob should do is try and find someone standing on their own. Why don't they do that? Well,
we have, and the biggest advantage that the Crows have over Collingwood is quite simple, and invariably is the reason why a lot of people think that they can win the premiership. Is they have obviously they have the big Phil Thorpe, Fogarty and Tex Walker as the big, so they've got three key forwards that can mark the footy. That's the advantage. And then you look at the other end, you have McStay, who probably in his career averages 7 disposals, which isn't a high number. I don't know how many marks he averages, but it's not high. Then they have guys that give their all. They've got Jamie Elliott, who's probably going to be all Australian. They have some smaller players, but they just don't have those big targets like the Crows have.
Yeah, and they never kick them to the big targets first up. They always dribble around. Don't worry. Don't start me on how the game's played. It's
now, while we're still on footy, and I just mentioned it, the All-Australian squad came out.
Did it?
Yes.
Who's in it? Of any note?
Well, what's interesting is who's not in it. So there's some notable absentees that did not make the squad. By the way, the squad's a load of crap. Like you say, I made the All-Australian squad, and people hang their hat on the squad. And now, when you look at some people's stat sheet, they go, "Oh, they made the All-Australian squad 5 times. They never made the team, but they made the squad." The squad's a load of rhubarb.
Who are some notable exceptions?
Oh well, I thought Aaron Norton plays for the Bulldogs. Sam, Aaron Norton.
All right, Aaron.
His second half of the year, he was as dominant as Jeremy Cameron for the second half of the year. He was along with Jeremy Cameron. I think Aaron Norton and Jeremy Cameron were the 2 best players in the second half of the year.
Who picks the side?
He didn't even get in the squad.
Who picks the side?
Who picks the side?
Yeah, who are the selectors? If you
I
mention,
don't know. I don't
if you
know them
mention
all.
someone, I think you're going to mention.
I don't know them all. I think Caroline was on.
Oh no!
I think she was at
Oh
one stage.
please! Oh
I
my
think
God!
Kane Corns is one. I think Glenn Jakovic.
Kane Corns. Why
Glenn
would he
Jakovic.
be? Why would he be eligible to pick the side?
Andrew Dillon, I think, sits on it. The
Andrew
CEO.
Dillon.
He sits in on the meetings. By the way, before they do the meeting, every thing they do, welcome to country before they do those meetings, just so you know. But
They
it's
don't,
once
do they?
again, all that the squad has done is throw up, why is he in? Why isn't he in? By the way, Max Gawn will be going for his 8th All-Australian, which is remarkable given he had 2 knee reconstructions before he
Well,
even
it's
started.
remarkable because there's no one else that could take his place.
Well,
And he's a very
one
good
of the-
player.
Yeah, but you know why he's a good player, Sam? Because as the tallest man on the ground, he takes marks.
Not many.
No, well, he takes marks in front of the ball and behind the
And
ball.
there's such a hapless side that there's not many other people who could knock him out. Take him out.
Well, I think I don't think Cameron made Collingwood ruckman. I don't think he made the squad. As I said before, there were a few players that. Actually, where's my phone? A few players that didn't make the squad that a lot of people are very, very disappointed.
Tell me the selectors, please.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you the selectors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just mentioned 3 of them. I know Kane Corns is a selector. I know that Glenn
Kane
Jakovic.
Corns is a very nice man. Why would Kane Corns? How long has he been a selector?
And
And why?
Question. I don't
Well,
know.
because he's
how
in
long.
the media.
Well, yeah, because he watches every game, so it gives you a good idea. I have no problem with the fans All-Australian team revealed.
I have
where
no
are
problem with Kane Corns being, but Kane Corns has been in the game a minute. But how do you get that? If that is an accolade or if that is a prestigious appointment, how do you get that?
I'm not sure it's. I think it's just people. I think it's people that have time to do it. To be honest.
I see. There, well, that's different. That's different.
So Isaac Renton.
You haven't
is
got
actually
time
in
to
the
do
squad.
it. You're out of the country half your life.
Yeah, no. It's people that they generally people stand
Here
there
we
across
go.
and
Duck,
watch
while you've
most
been.
and watch most of the rounds.
Here
So
we
Josh
go.
Jacobs-
Andrew Dillon. Eddie Betts.
Yep.
Oh,
Eddie's on it, is he?
Well,
Yep.
that's what it says. Jude Bolton. Nathan Buckley. Kane Corns. Abby Holmes. Glenn
Eddie's on it.
Jakovic. Laura Kane. Matthew
Yep.
Pavlich. If that is not the best DEI group of people for a sporting body, I'll rest my case. We've got one of every type of person in the community in there. We haven't got a trans person, mind you. Some of them might be trans. I don't know. We've got a representative from every fucking group of people in the world.
Well, I think there are a few. They're definitely qualified to. And all of those. What I will say about all of those people,
You said because they go to the games. Well,
they
that
all
would
have. They watch
that
a lot
would
of the
qualify
footy.
100,000 people.
But they watch a lot of the footy, Sam. You've got to have that position. You've got to watch most of the games, and not on TV either, but live.
Oh, bullshit. Fucking hell.
So anyway, that team, by the way, is named, the All-Australian team is named tomorrow night. So the MVP...
Who will be the captain, do you think?
Who holds the record as captain of All-Australian teams? Oh, that's
You!
right. Yes, that's right. That's right, I held the record.
Fucking hell. Jesus.
I was only captain 4 times and vice twice.
So, Duck, how long have we been going here? So I want to ask you this.
Well, when I start talking about myself, it's probably time.
No, I like you talking about yourself. We can devote 10 minutes for you to just go on about yourself. Do you think we'll get to the stage, Duck? Here's a serious question. That in light of homophobic slurs and slagging people, do you think the AFL, in its wisdom, will bring out shortly the fact that you're not allowed to speak at all on the ground?
Oh.
Not allowed to say, hit the ball over here, pick him up, you just have to be mute. Do you think that would solve the problem?
Well, yeah, I know. Look, Sam, we do know what was said. We won't back over it again. What was said was wrong. The penalty, in my opinion, the penalty does not, and I've said this all along, for making such a term. Now, they made a rod for their own back, the AFL, and that is they gave out these penalties earlier in the year. They got stronger and stronger, and now this one has gone back a little bit. By the way, the other thing I would like to say about this, Isaac Rankin gave some evidence, or his legal team gave some evidence to say that he has some medical issues, of which they took into account, of which why it wasn't apparently 5 and it got dropped to 4 for those reasons. Isn't it funny how then some people in the media, some people in the media questioned whether he had these medical issues or not. Yet other people who make mistakes, some of whom are in the media, who have made some pretty big blues, and then they say they have. Do they ever get questioned about?
Have you ever claimed medical issues for some of the controversy?
I tell you what, Sam, I would love to blame some concussion, and some medical issues on some of my decisions in life. But unfortunately, I've never used those excuses.
I'm blaming concussion.
I have, and by the way, they were all a long time ago.
That's right, a bit like Snoop Dogg.
I copped it on the chin. And by the way, since my mistake, Sam, I've had 4 children since then.
A bit like Snoop Dogg.
Just like Snoop.
Yeah. And I could say this all started, this wokeness, when that buffoon, the arrogant buffoon who ran the competition, Gil McLaughlin, before, decided that he'd fine Scott Newman and Sheehan $100,000 for daring to discuss why Nicky Winmar lifted his jumper. A legitimate conversation. That's how all this started. They're woke bullshit that this competition carries on with, just to give them some importance in their own particular lunchtime.
We're going to have some positivity about. We've got to have. It is. I believe this is going to be a fascinating final series, though. We don't have to talk about next because
the standard of play.
No, because it is. No. Remember, Thursday week, tomorrow week, it's finals, and we'll get to talk about the finals next week.
We will, Doug. We're coming back. All right.
Yes.
Well, how long have we been going? We're coming back to talk about the state that you're living in. Just I want a couple of opinions from you.
Yep.
And
yes.
Also a couple of other things, Duck.
Yep. No worries. Yes. Let's do that.
Go and have a breather.
I'll go and have another glass of water.
Have a